actually speak real English? Or did you just memorize a textbook? Come with us to find out if you already master the 20 words native speakers use to sound effortlessly fluent. Let's go.
Hey, Liam. I was wondering, what's the secret behind the words that fluent English speakers usually know?
Honestly, the secret is simpler than most people think.
Seriously?
Sure. Fluent speakers usually don't use extremely difficult vocabulary. They just use simple words very naturally.
I am excited to know. Is it really possible to learn the 20 words that people with really good English usually know?
Of course. And these are not strange dictionary words. They're real conversation words people hear every single day.
Before we get into it, please hit the like button.
That's very important for us to continue bringing you more content.
So, what's the first word I can learn then?
One of the best words to start with is actually.
Really?
Absolutely. Native speakers use actually all the time during conversations.
How do people use it naturally?
Someone might say, "Actually, I thought English would be easier."
Wow, that sounds very natural.
Exactly. And when you learn words inside real sentences, they become much easier to remember.
What other words do fluent speakers use naturally?
They often say things like, "Although the meeting was long, it was worth it."
Wow, although really sounds natural there.
Although helps you connect two different ideas in a smooth and natural way.
Wow, I didn't know such a simple word could sound so natural.
Yes. For example, native speakers say things like, "Although I was nervous, I spoke English." Or, "Although the movie was long, I enjoyed it."
Wow, that actually sounds very natural. And what about the word still? I hear natives use it all the time, too.
They say things like, "I still make mistakes," or "I still get nervous sometimes."
That sounds much more human and natural.
When people speak naturally, they know how to deal with mistakes, pause sometimes, and just express themselves normally.
I noticed you used deal with. How do I use these other words?
Great question. Deal with is used when you handle or manage a problem or situation.
Oh, interesting.
For example, someone might say, "I learned how to deal with nervousness when speaking English."
Wow, that sounds very natural.
Those are the kinds of words that will actually make you sound fluent.
Once, I heard that learners should study combinations instead of isolated words. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, because native speakers think in complete expressions.
Why do combinations help so much?
Because the brain processes patterns faster than individual translated words.
Wow.
Imagine somebody asks, "Did you notice her accent?"
Okay.
A natural answer could be, "Yeah, I guess she lived abroad."
That sounds so smooth.
The speaker is using natural conversation patterns.
What makes learners sound robotic sometimes?
Literal translation. Many learners try to translate directly from their language instead of using natural English structures.
That's true. I've already done that before.
I think we've all done that.
What's another important word fluent speakers use a lot?
Probably.
How do people use it naturally?
They say things like, "She'll probably arrive late," or "It'll probably work."
Wow. I hear that word everywhere. What other mistake do learners make?
Many people waste time trying to sound advanced.
That's true.
They think difficult vocabulary automatically means fluency.
Then what really matters?
Clear communication, confidence, and natural rhythm.
Interesting.
Even advanced learners sometimes think, if I don't know every word, I can't speak.
I used to think exactly like that.
But real conversations are not vocabulary tests.
How do the words that I've learned so far help learners sound more natural?
Well, they appear constantly in conversations, movies, interviews, and podcasts.
What helps vocabulary stay in memory longer?
Emotional repetition inside meaningful situations.
Can you explain that more simply?
Sure. If you hear useful expressions repeatedly during interesting conversations, your brain remembers them naturally.
Wow, that's much easier than memorizing lists.
For sure.
What other words should learners notice more often?
Words like support, allow, achieve, and matter.
Why are those important?
Because they appear in work situations, daily life, and professional communication all the time.
Can you give examples?
Sure. Somebody might say, "My family supports my learning journey."
And what about allow?
People say things like, "They don't allow phones during the meeting,"
Interesting.
or "This app allows you to practice speaking every day."
Wow.
And learners also hear achieve very often.
Like how?
You can achieve fluency through consistent practice.
Why do learners lose confidence so quickly sometimes?
Because they compare themselves to perfect speakers online.
Social media definitely creates pressure.
Real communication is messy sometimes.
Do they?
Of course, even natives pause, repeat themselves, and change sentences midway.
Wow. That actually makes me feel calmer.
Good, because fluency is flexibility, not perfection.
What's another expression natives use constantly?
It's worth it.
I hear that everywhere.
It expresses emotional value very naturally.
So learners should focus more on emotional English.
Absolutely. Because emotional connection improves memory and confidence.
Interesting.
Learners should also notice words like unless.
How do people use unless?
They say things like, "You won't improve unless you practice."
Wow. Sometimes learners understand grammar, but still feel uncomfortable speaking naturally, right?
Yes, because grammar knowledge alone does not create automatic speech.
Then what creates automatic speech?
Repetition of natural spoken patterns.
So instead of memorizing individual words, learners should memorize complete expressions?
Exactly. Because the brain prefers patterns over isolated information.
Interesting.
For example, don't learn only, guess.
Learn, I guess.
You got it.
Don't learn only worth.
Learn worth it.
Don't learn only deal.
Learn deal with.
Wow, that changes everything.
Now, the learner already has ready-to-use conversation pieces.
That must improve confidence a lot.
It improves confidence, fluency, listening comprehension, and speaking speed.
Wow, I didn't realize simple expressions could help in so many different ways.
And another word fluent speakers use naturally is instead.
How do people use instead?
Someone might say, "I stayed home instead," or "Instead of worrying, just practice more."
Interesting. That sounds very useful in daily conversations.
It definitely is. And learners also hear the word improve all the time.
Like when people talk about their English?
Yeah. People often say, "My English improved a lot after practicing every day."
Wow, I hear that word everywhere too.
Another important one is realize.
How do natives use realize naturally?
They say things like, "I realized I was translating too much," or "I didn't realize how fast natives speak."
That second one is definitely true.
I think every learner feels that, at some point.
So, how many of these words do you think learners already know without realizing it?
Probably more than they imagine.
That's true.
The important thing is not only recognizing the words, but using them naturally.
And the more learners practice these natural patterns, the easier conversations become?
Absolutely.
Wow, that makes English feel much more achievable.
Because it truly is achievable.
And remember, everybody, small words, big difference.
And every natural conversation brings you one step closer to fluency.
So keep practicing every day without fear. Now tell me, which one of these words are you going to start using today?
Write it down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
I've learned a lot today, but now I'm feeling kind of lazy.
Then I have the perfect video for you. Click on the next video on the screen. We're going to talk about small talk for lazy Sundays, and I promise it'll be as relaxing as you need. See you there.
I'll be there. Bye.